All right, guys, welcome back to the bond series. Today we're diving into another important part of investing, credit ratings and risks. When you invest in bonds, you're essentially lending money to a company or government. But how do you know if they can pay you back? That's where credit ratings come in. We'll explore what a credit rating means, who gives them, and how they affect the risk and return of your investment. We'll also look at real-world examples so you can feel confident choosing bonds safely. Ready? Let's get started. Credit risk is the risk that the bond issuer won't be able to pay back their loan, meaning they might miss interest payments or not return your principal at maturity. Imagine lending money to a friend. If they don't have a steady job or savings, lending money feels risky. Bonds are similar. Who would you rather invest and say, actually, let me give a better example. Say your friend needs a spot for food and the meal costs $20. Who would you feel more comfortable giving the $20 to if you really need the $20 back? A friend who has a lot of money and has a steady job, or somebody who doesn't have too much money and is in between jobs right now? Obviously, if it's a friend, you would still pay for them, but for the sake of example, I would feel more comfortable giving my money to a person with a job or a steady source of income. Governments usually have very low credit risk because they have taxing power and stable income. Companies vary a lot. Some companies are very safe and others are a lot riskier. For example, a Fortune 500 company versus a brand new startup. An example is US Treasury bonds can have almost no credit risk, but a new tech startup bond might be very risky. So now we're going to talk about credit rating agencies. To help investors, there are special agencies that rate bonds based on their credit risk. The big three are Moody's, Standards and Poor, and Fitch Ratings. They assign ratings like AAA, AA, triple B, and so on. These ratings tell you how safe or risky the bond is. AAA is the safest, meaning the issuer is very likely to pay you back on time. Um, so I think it goes from AAA all the way down to D. Um, but I would never invest in a D bond. Remember, ratings below triple B are called junk bonds or high yield bonds because they're riskier but offer higher interest rates and upside with payments. Credit ratings affect the interest rate or coupon that the bond pays. Riskier bonds pay more. Credit ratings also affect how easy it is to sell the bond and how likely you are to get your money back. So this is just what the ratings mean for investors. A AAA bond might pay 2% interest while a double B bond could pay 7% to compensate for the higher risk. If you had $1,000 to invest, what would you choose? A triple A bond with lower interest or a riskier bond with higher interest? Remember, I always say this. Your investments should match your goals. If you're trying to earn money and do it somewhat quickly, I would always go for, a single A or triple B bond. But if you are all about safe returns and you want 100% of your money back, triple A bonds are the way to go. Credit ratings are important, but remember, they don't tell the whole story. Other risks to consider include interest rate risk. We talked about this earlier. Prices go down when interest rates go up. Inflation risk. If inflation rises, your bond fixed payments may buy less in the future. Liquidity risk. How easy is it to sell your bond? Some bonds aren't traded very often. Example, a small company bond might have good credit rating, but be hard to sell quickly without losing money. So, something to think about. Let's look at some real bond examples. Apple, my favorite example, a very strong company with high credit ratings. Their bonds pay less, but are very safe. A startup or a new company might have lower ratings and pay interest, but a higher risk of default. Tip, diversify your bond investments to spread the risk. Buying bond funds or ETFs is a great way to do this easily. To recap, credit ratings help you understand the risk of the bond investment. Safer bonds pay less interest, riskier bonds pay more. Always consider other risks like interest rates and liquidity. In the next and final video, we'll put it all together and talk about how to build a bond for portfolio that fits your goals. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in the next video.